Hello everyone, welcome to Daughters of the King. Now, a major part of this channel is going to be my weight loss journey. And so, I'm going to be doing an introduction to my weight loss journey for my first video. Now, I've struggled with my weight for the last 4 or 5 years. There's not a time in my, I guess, more mature body that I have really experienced what it was like to be at a healthy weight. Now, obviously, we all know if you've had weight struggles that it doesn't just come from anywhere. There's usually a situation or a chain of situations that leads to a lot of weight gain, and that is the case for me. Now, the last 4 years, but as we've been kind of bouncing all over the place, and a lot of stress, and something else that I'll be covering a lot on this channel is mental health. And as things started happening in my life, such as moving through schools and moving back and forth between two places, and just as things started, like my emotions started changing and things started getting more difficult. The last few years, I could say, could probably be the most difficult years of my life, and it led to realizing I have depression and anxiety. And I believe, we obviously know that depression and anxiety and any kind of strong emotions can lead to emotional eating, and eating food has been a big issue for me for a long time. Even when I was young and not really having any weight issues, my parents would always tell me to slow down while I eat because I am a very fast eater, and that's been a problem for me ever since I've been very young. And I used to and I eat I don't think I ever ate too much, but I do know that I was overeating because I would hide to eat. That was a problem I used to have when I was younger, and unfortunately, it's still a problem I have sometimes now. And I know it's not a very rare problem to have, but it is still kind of embarrassing to talk about. But it is just the truth of the matter because obviously it shows up now. And so, that has been, I feel the food has definitely been a huge part of the weight gain. Um, as to also to that, even though food has been an issue, I don't believe that I've ever eaten, well, it could just be me trying to find a way to say that, but that I haven't ever eaten so terribly that required such exponential weight gain. And we also learned not too long ago that I do have a low metabolism, so that does have part in it. So whereas an average person can eat 2,000 calories and burn 2,000 calories and maintain their weight, I only burn 1,500 calories a day. So even if I'm eating 2,000 calories, which is what the average person eats and is supposed to eat, I'm still going to be gaining weight because that's an extra 500 calories my body is not burning if I'm not doing anything that day. And along with those terms, exercise is a very, very, very hard thing for me. And I know that's not rare as well. Exercise has always been a big issue for me, I think. And we've tried so many things, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate, so many things. In the past, we used to do, when I was young, we used to eat pretty normally, I guess. I mean, we'd eat out fast food a few times a week, but we mostly had like salads and a protein for dinner. We had what we called super juice, which now I know is just green smoothies for breakfast and toast, and we ate normally. But I believe that along the time, a lot of stress started to accumulate, and one thing we tend to underestimate when it comes to weight gain is stress. Yes, food and lack of activity do have a lot to do with weight gain, but stress has a very, very great impact on your weight, especially in your belly area. Stress is every time when you stress too much, your body starts producing chemicals that cause you to gain weight and cause you to just be unhealthier in the first place. So I believe as I got older, stress started to accumulate with all kinds of things that I was going through. And I believe that is a very big contributor to my weight gain, which I believe most of my weight it is actually stress, even though I know food and exercise have a big part to do with that. But I believe it is stress. But we have started so many things in the past. We've done the 10-day green smoothie cleanse about 2 to 3 times. We've done we recently we've tried the keto diet, which is, as many know, since it's been a very popular diet the last few years, is a high fat, low carb diet. So even though I'm a meat lover, so that was not a problem in itself. But then I also realized, when you try a new program, you feel okay for the first 2 weeks. Oh, I'm strong. I don't need to eat bread. I don't need to eat pasta. I don't need to eat cake. And then you get to the third week or the fourth week if you're really strong, and you realize, yeah, I miss bread. And for me, that means I spiral out of control. And it's a very unhealthy habit I have, but I tend to be an all in or out kind of person. So I'm all in if I'm exercising and eating right and following the diet I'm doing. Or if I slip up, then I'm eating whatever I want. And that's obviously not a healthy balance to have, because this is supposed to be a lifestyle change, not just a weight loss scheme. But that is how I think I've kind of been doing things. And I feel that's part of been the reason why so many of my weight loss attempts haven't worked out, because I'm so all in or completely out. And so many weight loss attempts after a while starts to form such a vicious cycle in your mind, that I'll stay strong for a few weeks and then drop off and then drop completely out and have to start all over months later. And in the last 4 years, I would say maybe 20, 30 pounds a year I've gained. One thing that I thank God for is that my weight does, as there's a lot of people who when they're overweight have a problem area, but my weight actually distributes pretty evenly, which is good because I have a lot of it that I'm carrying. Now I am 5'9" with where height is concerned, so that does help a little bit with distribution of weight, so it doesn't look, because the shorter you are, the fat tends to look a little more compact, but when you're longer you can kind of spread out a little bit. But at the same time, I'm still at a size where I don't feel comfortable and I don't feel confident. And so is one of the most popular weight loss programs in the country about is Weight Watchers. And about September in 2018 is when me and my mom actually started Weight Watchers. She had done it in the past before and had great results with it, so we decided to give it a try for both of us, as we both needed to lose weight. And I believe the first few weeks went pretty well. It was my 13th birthday. I think I lost 7 pounds that week. I was ecstatic. It was going really well. And then our consistency problem came into play. Now, this is not just a problem I have. It's a kind of a family issue. We have a big problem with consistency. And so after a while, after the first, like I said, the first 2 weeks after going strong, tracking, exercising, then it kind of fell apart. And at that time, it wasn't just because of consistency issues. We were going through a lot anyway, so that wasn't a very big help. So tracking slowed down. We were tracking like maybe once a week, maybe, not exercising. And soon enough, we went to our meetings, which are now called workshops, and I was gaining weight every week. First, it was like 2 pounds a week, and then it shot up to like 10 pounds, and then 20 pounds, and now I am about more than 50 pounds heavier than when I was doing Weight Watchers at that time. And so After a while, after that vicious cycle kept continuing, it just felt like I was going to Weight Watchers to fail. Every week, I knew I was probably going to come out of there crying. And so we stopped because I thought it was possibly because maybe I had too many food choices, because the basis of Weight Watchers is that you can eat whatever you want. You just have to track it and try to stay within your points. And and so I thought maybe I had too many choices, so that's why I failed, when it really wasn't that, but I hadn't really realized that yet. Then we went, when went to go see my physician, she recommended us to our local hospital's nutrition program, so I had a nutritionist. Now, I wasn't very happy about that in the beginning, because for some reason weight loss is a very personal issue, and it's like hard to talk to others about that, especially those you feel don't really understand you. But the nutritionist went very well, but then I realized quite soon after that what I was having, not that it wasn't good food, but it was like so boring to try to have the same thing every day. And I realized I thought I needed structure, and she was trying to give me freedom, and I told her to take it away. And she did, and it wasn't very great, and I ended up falling off of that too. I lost about 7 pounds on that as well, but after a while, we never really went back, and I started gaining more weight. And then after that, we did the 10 days green smoothie cleanse. Now, we had done this before a while ago, and it was pretty good. I lost about 6 pounds the first time I did it. And so, but I thought maybe I had probably eaten too many snacks, because if you've done the 10-day green smoothie cleanse by J.J. Smith, you know that it's very easy to be deprived if you're just drinking the smoothies all day. But I believe I probably might have went overboard on the snacks the last time. So I tried it again and decided to not go so hard on the snacks, and I lost about 6 pounds again. So that was kind of strange, but it was pretty good for the time. And then after that, I don't believe we really did much of anything. And so after a while, we saw the keto diet, as I mentioned earlier, and we tried that once more. My mom had tried it before, and she was successful on it, but she wasn't very happy when she was doing that. But things have changed, and studies have changed surrounding the keto diet, so we decided to try it again. And I believe I lost about 18 pounds on that. That's the most amount of weight I've ever lost on anything I've ever done. And so that was really exciting, but the same thing came in consistency and life struggles and all kinds of things, and not seeing real changes that I wanted to see. And so we dropped off of that. But at the same time, I think I realized that keto, even though, like I said, you think you can go without your rice and your bread and your pasta, and like some of the things, like I don't find myself eating rice as much as I have. Like, I don't really crave it or anything. I still do love bread and all of those things, but like at least there's one thing that kind of helped me control. But at the same time, it's too much restriction, and I don't think it's very life sustainable unless you're very determined. And of course there's people who can stick with the keto diet for a lifestyle, but personally it's not something I could do, because I would feel deprived and end up eating it anyway, and eating way too much of it. So we did stop that, and so I'm glad that we did. But I'm not glad that I ended up gaining 20 more pounds after that, and we fell off a lot. And so coming to the end of 2019 was a very difficult year, but it was also an important year of healing and just a mindset change through all of those attempts that I've just mentioned with weight loss. And I don't believe my mindset was ever in the right place. I was so focused on losing the weight and seeing results so quickly, and I believe I really psyched myself out to the point where it was just one thing went wrong and I just fell apart. And so I did some research, and research was one of my favorite things to do, and it's something I want to actually try to do less, in the case that instead of just researching things all the time, to actually start doing what I know I need to do. And so I looked back at Weight Watchers, and if you follow up on Weight Watchers, they have tweaked their program a little bit from the last time we had done it. And so I just thought maybe there was a reason that we did Weight Watchers in the first place, and maybe God is telling me that we need to try it again. It's not that Weight Watchers didn't work, and this is when I'm realizing that I was wrong. It wasn't that there was too many foods with Weight Watchers to eat, because I obviously realized I need all the choices I have. I do need a restriction on food, which is what Weight Watchers gives you, but they do not limit you to any kind of food. And that is so helpful because this is a lifestyle, and I had to realize that I'm not just in it to lose 80 something pounds. I'm in it to be healthy the rest of my life. And so I need a program that'll help me to do that, so I can still eat the foods that I enjoy. I know it sounds cliche, but to still eat the foods that I enjoy and still lose weight and still be healthy. And Weight Watchers is the perfect program to do that. So long story short, we did start Weight Watchers over again. And my last meeting, and we started the meetings about 2 weeks ago now, and the weight that I started with, I had already weighed before my first weigh-in at Weight Watchers, so the weight wasn't a big surprise, as in, like, you know, we get on the scale after not weighing for a while, we see a number 50 pounds heavier than when we had last weighed. Now, the number is very scary, so, the number is very scary, but obviously I had to learn something to do, because, you know, we see when we're weighing in so much, we see, oh my gosh, this weight number is ridiculous, but just crying over a number isn't going to help us change it, and that's just the hard truth. And I've had to learn that, because if I had a dime for every time I've cried about my weight, I would be very, very rich. But, you know, crying about it isn't going to help me lose the weight. Only doing what I have to do is. So, and I think that's something I may be a little proud of myself for, was, you know, I saw that number on the scale. I knew that was going to be the number I saw on the scale, and I wasn't exactly ready yet not to cry, but, you know, at that point I had to decide and actually have that mindset change that I so much needed. Was, okay, this number is ugly. I hate this number a lot, but if I don't want to ever be here again, I actually need to follow the program and do what I need to do. So officially, I'm starting my weight loss journey at 268 pounds. And it's hard to say that, and it does bring up a lot of emotions, but I'm never planning on seeing that number again. So, and I hope that any of you guys who are seeing a number that you really, really, really hate, just remember, you're never going to see that number again if you do what you need to do. So don't cry over the number. It's going to be okay, and you'll get to your goal. And so, but that was my first weigh-in. My second weigh-in, I know usually people don't start losing weight before they post their first weight loss video, but that's just how it is. I lost 3 pounds my first week, which was really exciting. And I was very nervous about my first weigh-in, because if I lost weight weigh-in, because as I explained the last time I did Weight Watchers, it was a very traumatic experience to go back to meeting after meeting and gain 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds every time I went back. So it was very, 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 very encouraging to see that this, even though it's not, it's not 33 pounds, doesn't seem that much. It's a good amount of weight to lose in a week, and it's just encouraging to have lost at all. So that is actually what I'm doing right now. As for exercise, at the weight I am and just how my body works, I am not ready for high impact exercises. So at this time, I'm actually doing Leslie Sansone, which, if you haven't heard of her, is basically like a walking aerobics workout. It's low impact, but a lot of people tend to misinterpret that low impact means easy. Low impact doesn't mean easy by any means. It just means you're not really running or jumping or like constantly lifting your feet off the ground. So it's basically like a very moderate intensity walking workout, which is enough to challenge me, but it's not so much that I feel like I'm not going to be able to do it every day. So as for now, I'm trying to get in 5 miles of that every day. It's quite a challenge, but by God's grace, I'll be able to do it. And that's something I'm planning on sticking with, because when I think about running, it it's just a no. And it's just a no. And I believe walking is, I think it's better for your body to, for especially if you're overweight, because running has so much impact on your body. You're constantly pounding your feet on the ground, and the shocks are sending through your body, and that's a lot of pressure on your joints. And walking, you're still getting a great workout. Oh, you're still getting a great workout, but you're at the same time, you're doing, your feet are still on the ground. So that's really great. And so basically, so today I am also going to be taking my measurements. Now, they might have changed from the last time, but I don't think they changed that much. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I'll be right back. So I'm back from doing my measurements, and here they are. So obviously, I know that they're, most of the time when people do their weight loss journeys and they take their measurements and stuff, they usually do it on camera. But at this time, I'm not comfortable with that yet, so I hope that's okay. You're just gonna have to trust me on that. I'm not really sure why someone would lie about these measurements, but there it is. Anyway, so the plan is to be updating once a week, because I weigh once a week, and just to follow up about how things have been going. And I obviously want to, if you have, any of you are going through a weight loss journey or thinking about starting your journey, please feel free to comment down below and talk about it, and should all be supporting one another. And I'm just really, part of the reason why I want to document this on YouTube anyway is because I feel like accountability is a huge thing. Even though I'm not expecting this to get too much attention, but even 10 people watching means that there's 10 people watching you and seeing if you're going to continue with your journey. And I think that's so important. And I feel like sometimes we have a hard time keeping ourselves accountable. So we feel like others are keeping us accountable. It can be really helpful. So there that is. And for measurements, I'll probably be doing them about once a month, because you don't want to get too crazy with that. But I will be weighing once a week and reporting my results once a week. So I think that's pretty much the gist of it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and feel free to share your opinion down below, whether you like this video or not. That's okay with me. And if you disliked it for some reason, just explain why. If it's the quality of the video or if it's anything like that, it's completely fine. Your opinion is your opinion, and we should be respecting each other's opinions. So thanks so much for checking out Daughters of the King. And remember, Jesus loves you. Bye.